Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Sometimes the most attractive women in the room don't even realize how fine they really are. I'm not talking about the ones with the perfect body, the fancy makeup, or the latest designer bag. No, I'm talking about those women who walk through life unaware that their presence alone commands attention. Because attraction, real attraction, ain't always loud. It's in the quiet confidence, the calm strength, and the kind of energy that makes people stop and pay attention without even knowing why. True attraction starts with self-awareness, not physical beauty. See, a lot of women spend their whole lives trying to fix what they think is wrong with how they look. The hair, the body, the clothes, the makeup. But what they don't understand is that none of that can compete with a woman who knows exactly who she is. When a woman becomes aware of her value, her energy shifts. She walks different, talks different, carries herself like she belongs in any room she steps into. Self-awareness is the foundation of real attraction because it means you've stopped chasing validation from other people. You've learned to see yourself through your own eyes, not through the lens of other people's opinions. And that's rare, that's powerful. See, when you truly know yourself, you stop begging people to see your worth. You just start being it. You start moving with purpose. You stop tolerating things that don't serve you. And that right there, that quiet kind of strength, that's what pulls people in. Because the truth is, most people are lost, pretending to be somebody they're not just to get approval. But a self-aware woman, she's real, and authenticity always outshines artificial beauty. You can wear the best dress in the world, have the most perfect body, but if you don't know who you are, you'll still feel empty. But when you've taken the time to understand yourself, your flaws, your strengths, your purpose, there's a glow that starts to shine from within. You don't chase attention because you've already found acceptance in yourself. Men notice that kind of woman immediately. It's not about how she looks, it's about how she feels. It's the calm in her spirit, the confidence in her silence, the peace in her eyes. She doesn't need to prove she's special. She just knows she is. And that knowledge, that self-awareness is what makes her unforgettable, because people may forget what you wore, they may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how your energy made them feel. And a self-aware woman radiates energy that makes people feel safe, inspired, and alive. Now, let me tell you something. When you know who you are, you stop trying to fit in, and that's when you really stand out. The most attractive women are the ones who live in alignment with who they truly are. They know what they want and what they won't tolerate. They set boundaries not to push people away, but to protect their peace. They understand that beauty fades, but character stays. So instead of spending hours fixing what's outside, they invest in what's within, their growth, their faith, their mindset, their peace. That's the kind of beauty that time can't touch. So before you worry about being the prettiest woman in the room, make sure you're the most self-aware, because that's where real attraction begins. The moment you become comfortable with who you are, you stop needing to be validated, and that's when you become magnetic without even trying. Confidence is the most magnetic thing a woman can wear. You can have all the beauty in the world, but if you don't carry it with confidence, it's like a diamond hidden in the dark. Nobody can see its shine. Confidence is what brings your beauty to life. It's the way you walk into a room and own your space without saying a word. It's the way you look someone in the eye when you speak, the calm in your tone, and the belief that you are enough without needing to prove it to anybody. Confidence doesn't come from what's on you, it comes from what's in you. It's knowing that even if things fall apart, you can rebuild. It's understanding that no one's opinion can define who you are unless you allow it. That inner strength, that unshakable belief in yourself, that's the kind of thing people feel before they even notice your face. See, confidence isn't arrogance. It's not loud or boastful. It's quiet power. It's that look on your face when you know what you bring to the table and you're not afraid to eat alone if you have to. A confident woman doesn't chase attention. She attracts it effortlessly because people are drawn to her energy. You ever notice how when you're confident, the same outfit looks different? The same smile hits differently because confidence transforms how you carry yourself. It changes your posture, your energy, and your presence. It's that invisible crown that makes people see you as royalty, even if you're just wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Men love confident women because it's rare. Confidence says, I know my worth and I won't settle for less. It says, I'm not here to compete. I'm here to be myself. And when a woman stands in her confidence, she gives others permission to do the same. People start respecting her without her demanding it, because confidence commands respect without ever having to ask for it. It's the kind of strength that makes people listen when she speaks and remember her long after she's gone. But here's the thing. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's built from every time you got back up after falling. It's built from every tear you wiped away and every no that didn't break you. Every time life tested you and you kept going, that's where confidence grows. It's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and showing up anyway. When you've been through enough, you stop needing outside approval. You start to realize your validation doesn't come from others, it comes from within. So when you walk through life, wear your confidence like your favorite perfume. Let it speak before you do. Let it fill the room with your energy, because confidence is what makes beauty believable, what makes kindness powerful, and what makes a woman truly unforgettable. Your energy and peace are your most irresistible assets. You can be the most beautiful woman in the world, but if your energy is chaotic, people will feel it before you even open your mouth. Energy doesn't lie. When a woman is at peace with herself, there's something magnetic about her. She doesn't need to chase attention, start drama, or prove her worth to anyone. Her calmness speaks louder than any words could. It's that stillness in her soul, that gentle confidence that says, I'm good with who I am, and that peace. That's what draws people in, because in a world full of noise, a peaceful woman is like a breath of fresh air. When you've got peace, you move different. You don't react to everything. You respond with wisdom. You stop allowing people to disturb your spirit because you've learned the value of protecting your energy. You don't get caught up in gossip, jealousy, or unnecessary competition. You've outgrown the need to be liked because peace has taught you that not everyone deserves access to your space. A peaceful woman knows how to be alone without being lonely. She enjoys her own company. She doesn't chase love out of fear. She attracts it through her calm and grounded presence. That's what men notice. That's what they can't forget, because peace is rare, and when a woman carries it effortlessly, it feels like home. There's a certain glow that comes from a woman who protects her energy. It's in her smile, her silence, her composure. She doesn't let little things shake her. You can't easily offend her because she's already healed from things most people don't even talk about. She's not perfect. She's balanced. And balance is what makes her beautiful. People are drawn to her because she radiates safety. You can feel her peace before she says a word. That's a kind of attraction no amount of makeup or fancy clothes can create. It comes from within. Peace also means knowing when to walk away. When something doesn't align with your spirit, a peaceful woman doesn't fight to stay. She gracefully exits. She doesn't argue her worth. She doesn't beg for respect. She knows that her energy is valuable and refuses to waste it where it isn't appreciated. That kind of strength makes her unforgettable because she's not chasing chaos, she's choosing calm. And that decision changes everything. When a woman's energy is grounded, her presence heals others. People come to her not because she's trying to impress them, but because they feel better around her. That's what makes her attractive. Her peace is contagious. She inspires others to slow down, breathe, and rise above the noise. That's the real power of feminine energy, soft yet strong, calm yet confident, gentle yet firm. A woman like that doesn't have to say much. Her peace says it all. Men notice women who know their value without showing off. There's a different kind of power in a woman who doesn't need to prove she's special. She doesn't need to flaunt her worth because she lives it. She knows exactly who she is and what she deserves, and she carries that awareness in her tone, her walk, and her silence. When a woman knows her value, she moves with intention. She doesn't compete with anyone because she understands there's no competition when you're in your own lane. She doesn't beg for attention because she knows that anything forced isn't real. She knows what she brings to the table, and if someone can't see it, she's perfectly fine eating alone. The beauty of a woman who knows her worth is that she doesn't chase, she attracts. She's not desperate for love or validation because her confidence comes from within. She's not loud about it, but everything about her says, I'm not settling. And men feel that. They might not be able to put it into words, but they sense it in how she carries herself. A woman who knows her value doesn't accept half-hearted effort, inconsistent attention, or empty promises. She doesn't fall for sweet talk. She looks for consistent action. That's the kind of woman who changes the game. Because when you know your worth, you stop entertaining what doesn't meet your standards. She doesn't have to post her worth online, brag about how independent she is, or put others down to feel powerful. Her strength is quiet, but it's undeniable. It's in the way she speaks with respect, even when others don't deserve it. It's in the way she chooses peace over pettiness. It's in the way she smiles, knowing that she doesn't need to convince anyone of her value. Either you see it or you lose it. That's an unspoken kind of confidence that men can't resist, because men are naturally drawn to mystery, and a woman who doesn't overshare, overreact, or overexplain keeps that mystery alive. The truth is, real men love women who know their worth, because it makes them step up. It challenges them to rise to the occasion. When a man meets a woman who values herself, he knows he can't play games. He knows she won't settle for crumbs, so he either levels up or gets left behind. That kind of woman doesn't fall for potential. She values effort. She knows that love without respect isn't love at all. Knowing your value doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you free. You stop needing validation, stop chasing closure, stop explaining your boundaries. You just live your truth, and that truth shines brighter than any outfit or title ever could. That's the kind of beauty that turns heads without trying, the kind that speaks before you do. Because when you know your worth, you become a reflection of strength, grace, and self-respect, and that's a language every real man understands. Boundaries and standards make you unforgettable. A woman who has the courage to say, "Oh no," when something doesn't align with her peace is a woman who stands out in a world that keeps telling her to settle. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude or hard to get. It's about self-respect. It's saying, I know what I deserve, and I won't accept less than that. See, when you start honoring your standards, people start treating you differently. You stop being an option and you become a priority. You teach others how to value you by the way you value yourself. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you unforgettable. Too many women think being kind means being available for everyone, but kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. A truly attractive woman knows when to give and when to pull back. She knows that saying yes to everything means saying no to herself, so she chooses wisely. She doesn't waste her time on people who only show up when it's convenient. She doesn't chase love that costs her peace. When you have standards, you stop confusing attention with affection. You stop settling for potential and start waiting for consistency. That's the kind of mindset that makes men stop and take notice, because they know they can't play with a woman who has standards. A woman with boundaries walks differently. You can see it in her posture, in her eyes, in the way she carries herself. She doesn't explain her decisions to everyone because she knows she doesn't owe anyone an explanation. She doesn't beg for respect. She earns it with how she moves. When someone crosses her line, she doesn't argue. She simply removes herself. That kind of self-control is rare. It's strength disguised as grace. And that quiet power is what keeps her unforgettable long after she's gone. Men respect women who hold their standards high. They might test them at first, but deep down they admire it, because a woman with standards challenges a man to become better. She doesn't let him get comfortable giving her half of what she deserves. She makes him show up, be consistent, and act with intention. And the truth is, a man who's truly serious about you will never be turned off by your standards. He'll be inspired by them, because boundaries don't push the right people away. They protect you from the wrong ones. So when a woman sets her standards, she's not building walls, she's building doors that only the right ones can open. That kind of woman is unforgettable because she's not desperate for connection. She's devoted to her peace. She's not impressed by words, she's moved by action. And she understands something powerful, that love is not proven by how much she gives up for someone, but by how much she refuses to lose herself in the process. A real attractive woman doesn't chase, she chooses. She knows that what's meant for her will recognize her energy without her having to run after it. See, chasing comes from fear, fear of being alone, fear of missing out, fear of not being enough. But choosing comes from confidence, from peace, from knowing your worth. A woman who chooses doesn't sit around waiting for someone to validate her existence. She knows she's the prize, and she acts like it. She doesn't chase people, she attracts them. She doesn't beg to be seen. She simply shows up as her authentic self and lets the right one see her light. That's what makes her irresistible. The power in her stillness, the grace in her restraint. When a woman chases, she gives away her power. She starts lowering her standards, ignoring red flags, and trying to prove she's worthy of love. But when she chooses, she moves differently. She takes her time. She observes. She doesn't get attached to potential. She pays attention to consistency. She understands that love should never make her lose herself. She knows that if she has to chase someone to keep their interest, they were never really interested in the first place. That's a level of maturity most people never reach. But when a woman does, she becomes unstoppable. She becomes magnetic because she operates from a place of confidence, not desperation. Men feel that difference instantly. When a man meets a woman who chooses, he knows she's not like the rest. He knows she won't tolerate games, won't beg for effort, won't stay where she's not valued. That kind of woman is rare, and that rarity commands respect. She's not impressed by charm, she's moved by character. She doesn't fall for words, she pays attention to actions. When she chooses someone, it's not because she's lonely, it's because she sees real value, real alignment, and real potential for peace. That's what makes her choice powerful. A woman who chooses understands that solitude is not a punishment, it's preparation. She's not afraid to wait for what she deserves because she's already full within herself. She fills her own cup with purpose, passion, and peace. So when love comes, it adds to her. It doesn't complete her. That's what makes her glow different.